Good morning. Welcome back to another video. It is early morning at like 7 a.m. You got to get up early in Arizona to get your exercise in because it's going to be, triple digits. Today we're going to do a meal prep video. I am going back to work on next week. It's the last week of July and the first week of August is coming up. So I've got to start meal prepping and be ready to take my food with me in order to stay on plan. I'm kind of ready to go back to work. I'll tell you about that when the video gets started here. But right now I'm just walking around my neighborhood, trying to get my 2 miles in of walking. I'm actually walking around without my shirt on, which I don't think I've ever done in my life because I'm always so horrified about the way I look. But I want to get my vitamin D, and I'm definitely in better shape than I've ever been. So I think I'm okay. I'm still kind of embarrassed though. All right. Let's get into the kitchen and we'll start making some food.
All right, we're in the kitchen here.
We're back from working out, so we're not usually our polished selves. We're jumping into it, though.
Tim went to the gym. Of course, you saw me doing my walk outside. It's a Saturday morning. We're doing meal prep. Let's thank our Patreon and PayPal supporters, our financial supporters, help us put the show together. Without them, we couldn't do this. There's a link below if you're interested in supporting the show. Well, one of the things is I put the videos up on Patreon first, so 2 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
So people who want to talk, like I could talk all I want on there. Once it goes to YouTube, there's hundreds of comments. I can't get to all.
All right.
All right.
So thank you again.
So what we're doing a meal prep video, but this meal isn't actually meal prep. It can be, but I'm not going to put it in small containers. My friend, my work wife, Bahamna, she was in a car accident. Actually, it's pretty bad. She's fine. Her son, and her brother, they're actually all fine, but it was really scary, right? Car flipped over and all that. Anyway, you feel so useless when you find out, and I'm like, what can I do? I want to help. And she's like, I just have to, oh, you know what? Can you make me some vegan chili? I would love that. And I was like, yes, I can, right? Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, she's wanted me to be able to help in some way, so I felt better because that's how she is.
She's had this before.
But
it's
yeah,
delicious,
but I bring it into work. She loved it. She's like, I just need comfort food,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, all right, baby. So I'm gonna make our 3-bean vegan chili. There is a high protein version of this, but we're not doing that today because it's not for us. Because it's just going to Bahamna and her family. So that's what I'm gonna do. And this is one of our original staple recipes. All right.
That's right.
One of the things I learned recently is I think I want to make an ebook. I don't know if I've told you this.
Yeah, we talked about it last night.
So I think I just want to pick out, I think I'll let the Patreon members, I think I'll do a video of this on Patreon, where I ask them to pick out their favorite recipes, and to see, because I don't even know where to start, right? But I'd like to have, I don't know, just a small ebook, like a $5 ebook with like 20 recipes, right?
This is our motto. We just jump in and do it, and then go from there.
There's no plan. There's planning for food on the weekends, but everything else we just kind of jump in. So I'm thinking about that, and I would like to do that. All right, for the 3-bean chili, it couldn't be easier, all right? We're going to start with a few items here. One of the main things is the different types of beans. So right here we have black beans, kidney beans, and pinto beans, right? There's actually 2 cans of black beans, another whole can of them here, but it wouldn't fit in the bowl very nicely, right?
I think growing up, we just had kidney beans. So one of the reasons I love this recipe is the variety of bean fiber we're getting. Right on.
So we're going to start off with the Instant Pot, right?
Yeah.
And we're just going to throw a little bit of water, and you want to grab me a little, like, mason jar of water.
Yeah, I think we're going to start sauteing.
We're going to start sauteing, yes. And while Tim's getting that, I've cut up, and I'm going to give you the measurements. I've cut up 1 onion. We had another half an onion we hadn't used either. So 1.5 onions. I'm going to put that in. And I do have about 3 cloves of garlic. So just a little bit in there. All right, let's turn this thing on. It's facing you, so that's not going to be easy. So saute. And I'll give this a few minutes to get hot, and then we'll just start putting in our saute items, right?
Sounds good.
We haven't done meal prep in a long time because I'm home, because I'm a teacher and it's the summer, right? But I go back to work this week. So I'm back to work, and then the kids go back a week later, and then a week later Lex goes to college,
Yes.
right? So we're there. So I kind of have to now have food during the week. Otherwise, I just make it at home, right? So this meal prep video is the first one for the coming school season for me, right? I can just make food anytime, and Tim will make a few things. I'll make him something the night before and that sort of thing. But we haven't really had to prep for 5 days of food. So, all right, so the Instant Pot should be hot. So we're gonna dump in 1.5 onions, right? All diced up and ready to go. Do you want to get a wooden spoon?
Yeah.
And then I'm also putting in 3 cloves of garlic. And I've also diced a jalapeno here. So it's just a jalapeno from the store, washed and then diced, and I deveined it. You can leave some of the seeds in if you want it to be spicy. I mean, Bahama is Indian. She probably likes the spice, right? But I don't. I took them out and threw them out, so I don't know. And then I usually put in a can of just hatch green chilies, so I'm gonna pop that in right there.
As you know from the grocery store, they char them, we chop them up, but we've run out of those frozen ones, so we've got a can.
Yeah.
It works just as well.
What Tim's talking about is sometimes we'll go to Food City.
Yep.
It's kind of a predominantly Latino grocery store. They have the best stuff, right? So they sell charred like peppers. They char them right there on their grill, right? Like it's the best place. And you just buy those.
Yeah, when I get them home and I chop them up and freeze them.
So occasionally we'll run in there and get those because those are really good. All right, let's take this. And I'm just going to move this around a little bit. All right, so we're going to give that a few minutes until the onions get soft, and that's our saute stuff. And then after that, we'll just turn it off, and we'll dump everything in and do an Instant Pot kind of cook thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to really saute all the stuff before you Instant Pot it, but I don't want the onions to be crunchy, right?
I know when we do the Instapot pinto beans for Lex, for us, we like to activate the spices.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like getting this warmed up and softened, adding the spices, I don't know, just kind of...
I agree.
It works.
I feel the same way. So we will, once that's all hot, we will put the spices in first and mix it up and do that.
Yeah.
So this is this is one of our first recipes. It's our classic recipe. Like we have a video right here where we both look completely different years and years ago where we made this recipe. But you know, it's just something that we've made over and over and over again. There is a high protein version just by adding the TVP.
TVP, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid to say TVP because after the last episode, people were screaming, "Oh, you're promoting TVP!" Like I'm on the TVP agenda.
No.
But if you want to make a high protein, you can add TVP.
Because we put this in a batch, right? I can freeze some if whatever we don't use at the end of the week. But having something ready...
Yeah, chili freeze is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this makes about 6 servings. I'm not sure. So there you are.
All right.
All right, so we're at the point where it's steaming and it's kind of softened, right? Let's throw in the spices, yeah. Let's grab our teaspoon measure here. So we've got, we need a teaspoon of chili powder, which let's pop that in there. No, 2 teaspoons of chili powder. We now put 2 teaspoons in because we've doubled the spices. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of cumin, which there's cumin in chili powder, so not sure about that.
2, right?
2, yep. 2 teaspoons of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Someone told me how to say this online. I should have paid attention. I think it's Worcestershire, right? And if we don't have 2 teaspoons, we did buy a new one. See how thick that is? Yeah. Right? Like the new one we bought is more thinner. I really like this one. May have to buy it online. All right, so we're good there.
Yeah, let me just get some water.
You want to try and get the rest of it out?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And we'll, yeah.
This is the Midwest in me.
Want to get it
you have an empty bottle, put a little water in it.
All right, and here's the top to that. Let's keep that bottle aside. I think I want to buy that online because the other stuff we bought is just really thin. Mix this up a little bit. Just mix this up so you can activate the spices. And then let's see, we got
This is why I like the wood spoon, because you can scrape the bottom of it.
All right, so we can shut this off. All right. And let's get the spices mixed up, and while it's hot, and that'll activate the spices.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, so at this point, we're just dumping everything in. So we're gonna put in the beans, and here we have, between these 2 bowls, here we have 2 cans of black beans, 2 15-ounce cans, 2 15-ounce cans of, one 15-ounce can of kidney beans, rinsed and drained, 15-ounce cans of pinto beans, rinsed and drained. So pop that in there. Everything's been rinsed and drained for the beans. And you've got the rest of the black beans right there. You pop that in. There you go. All right, we're gonna mix that all together. All right. We're also going to put in about 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. So let's pop that in there. And this is just a better than bouillon, so we made it ourselves. Let's give that one more stir. Now, we got 2 cans of diced tomatoes, all right? Now, some people complain that they get the burn notice when they put tomatoes and stuff. I never did, but this is our old Instant Pot. I don't know if you realize this. You've seen us, we have a new Instant Pot. I get the burn notice on like everything I make on that. Like, it's really frustrating. So I've been told the reason is because the tomatoes cause the burn notice on the bottom. So if you're a burner noticer person, we're gonna just dump these on the top and don't mix them in, all right? So it's 2 cans of diced tomatoes with the fluid and everything in the can. We're just dumping it in there on the top, all right? That's it. So don't mix it up. I've never had it happen on this Instant Pot, but I don't want it to happen now. Don't mix it up. Just kind of, yeah.
I just leveled it out.
Level it out. All right, so that's in there. I'm not mixing it up. Let's put the top on the Instant Pot. So we're gonna set this for manual and 10 minutes. 35 is from the refried beans I made for Lex yesterday. All right, so manual, 10 minutes, sealing position. We're gonna let it do its thing, and when that's done, we'll come back and we'll open it up and see how it looks. Phoebe, I hope you're ready for your chili, because here it is. All right, it's been 10 minutes over that, and I've let the pressure release manually. I didn't do a quick release. So I'm gonna turn this thing to make sure there's no pressure left, which there isn't. You can see in here, the pin is dropped in, so that means it's safe to open. That means there's no more pressure left. So let's see what we got here. Oh, that looks good. It smells delicious. All right. We did not get the burn notice, so that's good. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, look at all those beans in there. Bahaba's gonna love this. It smells absolutely delicious. Oh man. All right. I'm gonna taste this and see if it needs any more flavors or any of that stuff. Tim went upstairs to start laundry, so you may hear the laundry thing going on. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. Mmm. Wow. It's really good. Holy smoke. Look at all those beans in there. Oh man. This chili is always a big burst of taste. All right, so at this point, you can start breaking it up into serving sizes for the week. Again, this isn't really meal prep, so I'm just gonna get it out of here. And I've actually got, it's too hot now, but I've got a cover that just goes on this. I'm gonna wait for this to cool to room temperature. I'm gonna pop this cover on it, throw it in the fridge, and then just probably later on today or tomorrow, just bring it to Bahabna with the cover on it and give it to her. I've got other inserts for the Instant Pot, so I don't need this insert. I've got another one. So I'll just give her the whole thing, and then when she's done with it, she can just bring it back to me at work. So that's gonna be all done, and chili is complete. All right, so next, Tim's gonna cut up some fruit here. One of the things I'm gonna have for breakfast every day, what I'm gonna have for breakfast, I've already got my week mapped out, like my days for every day next week, and it's the same thing. And I'm gonna start with a fruit salad. And what that's gonna be is, inside a container, I'm gonna have 1 cup of fresh cantaloupe, 1 cup of strawberries, and 1 cup of watermelon.
Okay.
So a cup each.
So these are, why did you choose this combination?
Let me tell you. I'm going to put this on the screen right here. I've got a list of every fruit on the screen, right? And this is right in chronometer. I just put them all in the chronometer, and they're listed in order by the number of calories per 100 grams. So I put 100 grams of watermelon, 100 grams of strawberries, 100 grams of cantaloupe, all the way down through grapes. You asked me yesterday when we were buying grapes, why did I want these and not grapes? Here's why. Because 100 grams of watermelon is 30 calories, right? Versus, well, hang on. So, and the reason watermelon and strawberries, 32, and cantaloupe, 34, and then it goes down, peaches, dragon fruit, blackberries, all the way down to grapes. And grapes is almost 70 calories for the same amount. Okay. So, more than twice as much, right? Now, you know, it may not be a big deal to you, but if you're counting calories, or if you're wanting to eat the same amount.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's like, I want to eat more food,
Yeah.
right, for the same calories. Well, you can start right here. If you're going to have fruit, have 100 grams of watermelon instead of 100 grams of grapes. Now, for that 70 calories, that's 100 grams of grapes, you're going to have 200 to 250 calories of watermelon.
Yeah.
Right? Do you see that?
I mean, if you're over 5'10", your macros look different. Your calories per day, you've got more leniency.
Yeah.
So, Joey, at your height
Right.
and what you're trying to achieve, I mean, everything counts.
It
and
does.
that's why it matters for this. But
Yeah.
this list isn't going to matter for everyone.
No.
But
If you're someone who's counting calories and wants to eat, and you feel like I'm still hungry, these are the choices you want to make. You want to eat the right stuff where you can eat double the amount.
Yeah.
Right. So, do I love grapes? I absolutely love grapes. Right. And would I throw in a few if there was I had some? I would. Right. But for bulk, so the reason melons are so low in calories is because they're mostly water. And water doesn't have any calories,
Yep.
right? So that's why we chose that.
Yep, so this is great. This is hydrating,
Right.
anti-inflammatory.
The first three,
Fits the
watermelon, strawberries, and cantaloupe. So
Okay.
that's what we're doing. We're going to cut up cantaloupe, and we're going to put it into bowls big enough to hold 3 of them, and have my fruit bowls ready to go.
Yeah. One of the things you could comment is the way you cut watermelon. I'm going to use a bread knife. It's big enough to get through. And then I come in with an ice cream scooper and just make round scoops, and then you weigh them out afterwards.
And that's what I do, and I'll show you how to do that. And for those of you who are triggered by product endorsement, we're using our Doll Strong knives, and there's a link below and how you can get your very own Doll Strong knives.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get that cut up.
Okay.
This one was in the refrigerator, but we have 2 more that are not. I sometimes keep one in the refrigerator because in case I'm like, I need watermelon right now, you can cut it and it's cold, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna need to put these things in something, right?
Smells great. Let's get a container ready.
All right, so since we're gonna cut this fruit up, I'm gonna show you the container size. I'm just using one of these, I don't even know how many ounces it is, from IKEA. It is 20 fluid ounce containers. I'm gonna pop it on there,
Okay.
and I'm gonna weigh the container, right? It says it's 485 grams. I'm gonna tar it out so it's at 0. All right, so now you can just start scooping watermelon in here until we get to 100. That's 32 grams right there. That's 69. All right, so we're already at 100 right there.
Oh, really?
That's it, yeah. So you can start putting the rest in here. I just
Perfect.
wanted you to see about, we'll weigh them all out and stick them out, but I wanted you to see how much watermelon is 100 grams.
Okay.
Not much, right? But it takes up a third of the container, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a few more things coming, so.
All right, so Tim's just going to cut the rest of this out and put it in a storage container, and then we'll show you how this all works out with the strawberries and the melon. All right, so we've got the melon all positioned into 5 little pieces, and then we've got a bunch of extra melon kind of right here. Tim will sort that out for himself later on. So I've got my scale here, and we're going to cut up the strawberries. Really, we're just cutting the top off, right? And
Yeah, you kind of like it bite-sized, so I thought maybe I'd just cut it in half.
all right, and that sounds good. And
Sounds
we'll start throwing them in here to get 100 grams of strawberries in each one.
Yeah.
The melon grinds will go in the composter, and then the tops of these will go in the composter too.
Yeah. So there is a tool that extracts this out, but I'm just going to cut the cut.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's all you need to do. All right, pop that in there. All right, so let's turn this on, zero it out, and see what we got. All right. That's about 30 right there.
What are we going for?
100.
100.
100.
Same.
Yep.
All right. These strawberries are looking excellent.
I'll put these on the side because we put the melon and we'll put it in the middle and it'll look more picturesque. We're at 71. About 90. All right, 102, so close enough. All right, so let's switch it to the next one here. Hang on, let me zero this out. All right. We're just gonna put 100 grams of strawberries in each one of these until we've got all our strawberries in. All right, so we're done with these 2. That leaves just the cantaloupe, right? And we got a Tuscan cantaloupe over there. We're gonna cut up and see what that's all about, right?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll clean up here and we'll jump back in. All right, so Tim has a Tuscan cantaloupe that we got at Sprouts. I don't even know where we got it from, or maybe it was Fry's. It's really, I don't know if any of these cantaloupes, we got 2 more, and I don't know if any of them are actually ripe, so we're going to cut this open. We do have some already cut cantaloupe we got at Costco, so if this isn't ripe, then we'll use that instead. So let's find out.
In the meantime. And by the way, I know we're just cutting fruit, but thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh, look at that coloring. Holy smoke. Is it a Tuscan because it has kind of those hues?
I think it's just, I mean, it's got these lines outside that are different, and it's a little darker orange, I believe.
All right, let's give this a taste and see if it's actually ripe or not.
Okay.
All right, let's see what that tastes like. Oh, it's ripe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's delicious.
So much for me for pushing in the ends to see if it's ripe or not. It's good then?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's pop one of these on here, and let's get that going, and we'll get our 100 grams in. All right.
Okay.
That's already 68 grams. All right, let's put a little bit of that in. Right there. That's good. Right there. All right, so there you have it right here.
Perfect.
That is 100 grams of each of these fruits. So the whole thing comes out to 133 calories because of the 3 fruits.
Okay.
I mean, there's actually 3 grams of protein in this fruit. We didn't put anything in there but the fruit, right? My first meal, I'm not worried about the protein, so yeah. So that's going to be a really nice breakfast for me every day, just to get me going. And then at 10:30 I get lunch, and I'll have my lunch. All right, we're going to finish this up, close all these up, and then we'll jump into what's next, right? All right, so you've got the extra cantaloupe right here that you make your meals out of, the extra strawberries and cantaloupe and all that stuff, and the melon. Yeah, and then I've got my 5 Monday through Friday, my breakfast ready to go. Perfect. We'll get these in the fridge, and then we'll jump on to the next thing.
Sounds great.
All right, so next I'm going to have my second meal today. I'm going to prep, and that is going to be the chocolate peanut butter overnight oats. I absolutely love this meal. So I'll have the fruit at 8 a.m. when I get to work, and then at 7:30 a.m. And then at 10:30 I'll have breakfast, and this will be my first actual protein meal. There is a link to this video right here where I make this. It's an amazing recipe. It's absolutely delicious. I'm going to do the dry ingredients, and I'll tell you what milk to put in. I put the milk in the night before, because otherwise I've found, I mean, it's Saturday. I'm not even starting this till Monday.
Yep.
I found after 4 days, it doesn't taste right.
Okay.
All right.
So this is one way around it then.
Yeah, so I'm just going to, and at night I'm always like, okay, what do I need for the next day, right? So I'll just pour the milk in, and I usually just take a banana with me and I just pop it up in there, right? Or you can do it the night before with the milk, that's fine also. So this will just be the dry parts. All right, so we're going to put in here a half a cup, or we got to measure, so 40 grams, we got to measure.
What do you mean?
Because it's not the same.
You're kidding me.
No. Your half a cup is not the same as everyone else's half a cup. We're going to put in a half a cup of oats, or 40 grams. The grams is what we go by, not the half a cup. So let's pop in and say you have 40 grams. All right, and you've still got stuff left in the cup, right? Like a lot. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. The calories and everything, whether it's a packaged item, whether it's one of mine, is not based on the imperial measurements like that we use in the USA. They're all based on the grams.
So not volume, but by weight.
It's by weight, right? All right, so perfect. So that's kind of what we're going to do to each one. So that's happening right there. We'll put the next one, and notice this mason jar, right? It does, okay, this one is the exact same weight. Some of them aren't, right? Some of them are a little off here and there. So, right here, 40 grams.
Okay.
Good enough. All right, so
I worked at this restaurant called Roy's, and I think I worked lunch, and I had to be my own bartender, right? So, yeah, that's the comment I got from everyone, that the drinks were really too strong for lunch.
All right, Tom Cruise, we're done with that. You can put that back, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Remember Tom Cruise in Cocktail? He made drinks. Yeah. All right. So the next ingredient is we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter powder right there. I've weighed this out before, and it's very close to the correct amount. Yeah, just do that. So 2 tablespoons of PB2. All right, let's go to the next one.
Next one. I'm banging it because I just don't want the powder to stick in the spoon.
And the tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter. They're not there just to give it a peanut butter taste. It's there because this stuff has protein in it. So it's a little boost of protein. All right, you got one more over here. The whole thing, when it's done, comes out to 403 calories, depending on which milk you use. If you're using the touch of almond milk, which is cashew milk, it comes out to 403 calories and 33.9 to 34 grams of protein.
Okay.
If you use the silk milk that has more protein and more calories, it'll be about 458 calories with 40 grams of protein. All right, that's not what we have right now. All right, so next is going to be the protein powder. So let's get that in. The protein powder is going to be 2 scoops of Earth Chimp chocolate protein powder. So that's what we're using.
So I noticed that there's a PB2 peanut butter with chocolate.
Yeah, we have it up there.
Have you tried that? Is it too chocolatey or what?
You can do that. It's just the macros are a little different. This one has 1 more gram of protein. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but you can absolutely.
That's a good enough reason.
Yeah. All right, the Earth Chimp powder are exact each time with the scoop, so you don't have to worry about measuring that out. It's 35 grams of protein each time with the 2 scoops. And you can save 15% on your next purchase at Earth Chimp. Use my link in the description below this video, and if you spend more than $45, you get free shipping.
Why do you like this protein powder?
Oh my God, the taste is so good. It's just better than anything else. Yeah.
Also, it's pretty clean and
It's
lower
very
in calories.
clean. Yeah, the calories are low, and it's not very gritty. I absolutely love it. And we're not going to put the soy milk in, but we should probably put the vanilla in, don't you think?
I'm thinking with yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only a teaspoon of vanilla. So let me grab that, because I know you'll start free pouring. You need me to move that thing?
No, I don't think so.
The reason I have this, when I did this with April, I had to use this, and I swear, even with this, she poured the stuff in, and it just missed the bar. It missed the jar, and it would just go all over the island. All right, so that's it for now. So I'm just going to take these and throw these, they don't even have to go in the fridge, do they?
No, I think you can stack them over where the.
Yeah, we're just going to stack them.
The drink station.
And here's what we'll do. The night before I'm ready to use these, I'll pour 1 cup of milk into the one I'm going to use, and I'll slice up my 50 grams of banana, which I'm guessing that's how much banana is in it. Yeah, 50 grams of banana. I'll slice up 50 grams of banana, and I'll put in a cup of milk. I'll mix it all up. I'll throw it in the fridge the night before, and that's it. The next day, that's what I'm going to have for lunch.
Perfect.
Right? So we're going to cap these here. We'll put these away until it's time to use them. Okay.
You want any chia seeds in this?
No. You can put cheese seeds in it, but it's going to change the calories.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
All right,
So you do you.
All right, so the meal after that is going to be a protein shake when I get home from the gym.
Okay.
Actually, there might be a protein bar. Am I having a bar? I am not. So, yeah, I'm having so the meal after that will be a protein bar at school.
Okay.
And then I'll come home from the gym. I go to because the school's right next to the gym. I'll go to the gym after school. I'll come home, and I'm having a smoothie. Just a vanilla smoothie with spinach in it and a banana, right? But the dinner, that'll be my last meal. And this gives me 5 meals a day. The dinner is going to be the IP Bolognese. So that's what we're going to make next, the pasta and the Bolognese. That's a great meal, but we got to run out to the movie.
I know that's what we're making next, but it's opening at Deadpool.
We're going to see Deadpool Wolverine with our friend Nate. When we get back, we'll pick up filming this, but the lighting's going to be a little different. Yeah. All right, see you in a minute. All right, the movie was a lot of fun. There was a lot of cursing. We went to see Deadpool and Wolverine. We got to see Tim's trainer Nate and his girlfriend Celeste. She was really sweet. It was really nice to get out of the house with another couple. I don't know if we've done that in a long time. So that was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of cursing, so just be prepared for that. All right, it's actually the next day. That's the next morning. We just got back to the movies. It was afternoon. We had to run around to a few stores. It wound up being like 10 o'clock, and we're like, it's too late to do any more meal prep. So, especially this one, because this takes a little while. So we're going to pick it up today. Tim is sleeping. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I already went out for a run, walk, and got changed and all that. So I'm just going to pick it up, and, if he comes down, that's fine. And if not, that's okay also. All right, so one of the things I'm making for this weekend, it's now Sunday morning, so I got to shake a leg here, is the IP TVP Bolognese. The Bolognese is a sauce that goes over pasta, and this is a protein version. We'll put it over the protein pasta, and it gives you a really good high protein meal for under 400 calories. So that's what we're going to start with. And the key to all of this is TVP. So here I've got 1.5 cups, so about 150 grams of TVP. So I'm going to start with that as my base right here. All right, so I have the water, the tea kettle water boiling, I just turned it on, it'll take a little while. And the water going into the TVP has to be really hot. So just for now, I'm going to move that aside. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my spices for this, and I'm going to put them into that water that the TVP is going to absorb, because the TVP will then absorb all the spices. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm reading right out of my recipe here, so I have my recipe book. And the recipe is online at plantbaseddads.net. All my recipes are there, so you can check it out. So the spices for this are 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. So I'm just going to pop that in here. And this is what I'll mix with all the hot water that's going to go into the TVP. We are now out of Italian seasoning. 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. I know it sounds like a lot of spices, but trust me, you need it. All right, oregano, Italian seasoning. That tea kettle is loud. And we're going to use 2 teaspoons of chili powder. This is not chili powder. That's red pepper flakes. Ouch. All right, 2 teaspoons of chili powder. That we got, yep. So 1, 2. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of maple syrup here. 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm using just pink salt, Himalayan salt, or whatever it's called. And about a teaspoon of black pepper. It's salt and pepper to taste, whatever you normally use or whatever. I like a lot of pepper. Next, we got a teaspoon of powdered mustard. I feel like powdered mustard just changes the taste of everything and makes it better. So I hate it when the spoon won't go in there. All right, there you go. 1 teaspoon of powdered mustard. And just a little bit of red pepper flakes. I'm just going to put in like a pinch. There you go. I don't want it to be too spicy. All right, so you can see here, I dumped all my spices in there. That is just a big cup of everything I just put in there, and I'm going to mix all that up with the boiling water, which is just about done. I'm going to grab that. So you want to use the same amount of boiling water or hot water as you did the TVP in here. So it's about 1.5 cups. So I'm going to put 1.5 cups of hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling, but you definitely want it to be really, really hot. And I'm going to grab one of my whisks here. I'm just going to whisk this together so all of this gets all into a broth type of thing. And this is going to be perfect with the TVP. The TVP will just absorb this water and all the spices. It'll be perfect. All right. So I've got that going here. And I'm just going to take my TVP and just pour this in. There you go. I'm going to grab a spoon here and just kind of mix all this up. And the object of this is to get all of the TVP wet so it starts absorbing everything. All right, so my TVP is all soaking up the liquid there, and I'm just going to take this and set it aside for now and let it do its thing. Now we can get started on sauteing our veggies and getting our stuff ready for cooking. All right, so we're going to start here by setting the Instant Pot to saute. So I'm going to throw a little bit of water in here because I'm not using oil. I'm not oil free anymore, but I still don't want the calories. And when it saute on that, and let that start doing its saute thing. All right, so now that the water's in, I'm going to start adding my my aromatics. So first, I'm popping in about a medium onion. Maybe this is a little more than a medium onion. It's a whole onion, maybe a little bit extra, but about a medium onion. And then about 2 carrots peeled. I just got sliced carrots from salads because we make salads. So I'm just going to take some of these sliced carrots and put it in. It's about 2 carrots, so I don't know, I'm just going to estimate here. There you go. I mean, you can't have too many carrots. Hello. Next, I'm going to add about 1 green pepper. I've diced it all up. I'm going to pop that in there. And then I'm also going to add in about 3 celery stalks. They're all chopped up and diced up, so I'm going to pop those in there. And then I'm going to grab my wooden spoon and kind of mix all that up. I may need a little bit more water here. I want to make sure that they saute. I'm going to mix all that up here. Look at those colors. Those are the colors of health right there. Holy smoke. All right. I'm going to give that a few minutes to saute, and I want to just cook that until the onions are a little softer and everything starts softening up a little bit. We are going to pressure cook everything, but I just don't like raw onions in anything, so I like to kind of saute them first. But you really could just do it all. If it is a one-pot meal, you could pop it all in, just pressure cook it, and be done with it. I'm just going to continue to move this around here until it all gets soft. You can see here, there's kind of plenty of water in there. Everything's still wet down there. But if you need to add more water, if it gets to be too dry, then just add a little bit more water. All right, so you can see here it's kind of all really bright. All the colors have kind of been enhanced. Look, everything looks nice and kind of, you know, sauteed. So we're gonna take the TVP that's been sitting here that we mixed with the water. We're gonna pop that in there. All of that goodness. And this TVP is now seasoned because it absorbed all the water and the seasonings. I'm just gonna mix that in here. The TVP is gonna absorb any other water that's in there, so you gotta be careful here it doesn't burn, all right? So you may have to put like a little bit more water in here. I can already see it's absorbing the water. And I wanna kind of just get that TVP to cook just a bit. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it, just kind of move it around a little bit, just for, I don't know, 4 minutes, not very long. Now, it is gonna stick to the bottom of the pan. You do want a little bit of stickage because we're gonna deglaze it. Not really here, but when we throw in the tomato paste. All right, so it's been there for a few minutes. I'm gonna toss in, I've got some garlic that I've run through the little garlic press. It's about 3 to 4 cloves. And I've got 4 tablespoons of tomato paste that I'm popping in here. Let's see if this comes out. I only got a little bit more. All right, so 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. And now I'm gonna move this around, and this will cause stickage to the bottom. So I wanna make sure that I get the tomato paste combined with everything in here. So I want it all to be nice and red, right? And until that happens, I'm not really done. You can see here how I'm moving it around the bottom, but you know, it's getting harder and harder to move, and there is some stickage, like right here. We want that to happen because that's gonna be the fond that we create. So we want a little bit of stickage. I'm gonna let it cook for, I don't know, just maybe a minute or 2. All right, it's cooking down there. You can see it's definitely sticking on the bottom. It's not burning, but it's definitely sticking. So that's looking good. All right, perfect. Now I'm gonna do the deglazing. I'm gonna pour in, you can do a half a cup of red wine here. I'm just using red wine vinegar because I don't have red wine because we just don't drink wine. I'm gonna pop that in there and make sure to rub it all over the bottom and get the pan deglazed. And at this point, you can shut off the heat. We don't need the heat on anymore. I want to get the pan deglazed, and I don't want it to cook anymore. Just moving all this stuff around, and you can see here, right? It is deglazing, like there's nothing stuck to the bottom here. So that's perfect. And you want to make sure there's nothing stuck to the bottom, because when you do the Instapot, the pressure cooking, it'll get the burn notice if there's stuff stuck to the bottom. So you want to make sure you do everything down here. Get all of that off the bottom. All right, we just did a quick battery change here. All right, if you take a look at this, now you can see here that there's nothing on the bottom of the pan stuck. You see that down here? Right at the bottom here, there's nothing here. It's all free flowing. And look how red this looks. It almost looks like it's ground beef in there, which is so bizarre. But that's because of the tomato paste. All right. Everything else just gets dumped in, and we're gonna do a high pressure cook here. So let's get started with the rest of the ingredients. All right, so next we're gonna put in about a cup of water. So let's pop that in there. I'm gonna mix that around to kind of get that all soaked in here. All right. And then what I have left here is a can of San Marzano organic tomatoes. These are right from Italy, they're organic. These are what you want to use whenever you're, I mean, I grew up using these. This Italian families use these. So I'm gonna pop this in, but you have to do something special with this. Let me open this up first. All right, the top of this can is bent. So when I opened it, it did not open correctly. Only part of it opened. Anyway, I'm just gonna go with it. So here's what we're gonna do with this. We're gonna take these tomatoes. These are peeled tomatoes, and we're gonna pop it in here, but we're not gonna mix it up because on this recipe, in my other Instapot, I do get the burn notice. On this one, I do not, but just the same, I'm gonna treat it like it's the other Instapot. By putting the tomatoes on the top and just kind of spreading them around and not mixing them up, you should not get the burn notice. All right, so my tomatoes, you can see, they're just kind of floating on the top here, right? So that's what you wanna do. The only thing left to put in here is the bay leaves. So I'm gonna put in 2 bay leaves, and I do wanna kind of stick these in there so the seasoning happens. I just want to make sure they're big enough where I can find them again, because sometimes I have a problem with that. All right, so that's it. Everything's in. I'm not gonna mix this up, and I'm put the cover on top of this. I'm gonna lock that in place, putting it to sealing position. And I'm gonna cook this on high pressure for 20 minutes. Manual, it's still on 10 from the last recipe we made. 20 minutes, I'm gonna let that do its thing. Once it finishes, when it comes up to pressure and then does the 10 minutes, and assuming it doesn't burn, I'm gonna let the pressure out immediately and then toss in some spinach that I have. I've got, well, it's a 4-cup measure, but I've got about 4 cups of frozen spinach. It's actually frozen raw spinach that I'm gonna pop in there for my greens and get that mixed in, and then we'll be done. So 20 minutes, please, Instapot Fairy, don't give me the burn notice, please. All right, the Instant Pot did its thing, it ran through the cycle. So one of the odd things about the Instant Pot sometimes is that it'll show that it came to pressure and start counting down. You know, it just says on, and then it comes to pressure, and then it starts counting down. If you put in 20 minutes, say 20, 19, 18, well, it's at like 16 minutes, and I come over here, and it's not at pressure. And that's not okay, like that's something's wrong. So I like turn it off and I make sure there's no pressure. I open the cap, open the cover, and it's boiling inside and it's stuff sticking to the bottom. So it's gonna do the burn notice. I don't know what that's about or why that happens, but it happens on this recipe for sure. Any recipe that has tomatoes. So you kind of have to get in there, mix it around, make sure it's not burnt, re-put it on and try it again. That's all I did. And this time it did work fine. So I'm gonna put the, you can make this on the stovetop also by bringing it up to a boil and let it simmer for 20 minutes. I'm gonna let the steam out. I like to put a rag over this and then let the steam come out. All right, you can see here that the little pin has dropped back into the pot. That means that there is no more pressure. So you can open this up safely. And there you go. So you can see here the tomatoes are really still intact, and those are too big, of course. So I'm gonna use my spoon here and just kind of break them up. While I'm doing this, I see one of the bay leaves right here, so I'm gonna grab that out of there. And let me see if I can find the other one. There's another tomato. I wanna pop that up here. There it is right there. All right. So I'm just gonna go through here, and if I see any whole tomatoes, like this one here, I'm just gonna chop it up. This stuff is boiling hot. You don't want it to splash out on you like it's doing on me, because it's burning me. But look how good this looks. Holy smoke. Look at that. That's the Bolognese sauce right there. Like, look how chunky that is with all the vegetables. That is going to be amazing on the pasta. This makes 6 servings, so you're going to break it up equally into 6 servings. All right, so the last thing I'm doing here is I'm taking the 4 cups of spinach I have here. I'm going to pop it in here. Now that this is kind of stopped boiling and it's not so hard to work with, I'm gonna pop that in here and I'm just gonna mix it around until the spinach starts wilting. And it was frozen and thawed out, so it is wilted. But I'm just gonna mix that in here until it's, you know, kind of all mixed in, and that's it. All right, you can see the spinach just kind of adds this big piece of green to the whole thing, making it appear more healthier. I mean, it's healthy to start with, but it just kind of gives it that whole, I don't know, Florentine look with the spinach in it. All right. And you can see that right there. Let me pull that out. Look how good that looks. That is a beautiful, beautiful Bolognese right there. Holy smoke. And it's high protein. All right. Let's start putting this in our little portions with the pasta. All right, here's what I've done. I've cooked up some of this Pasta Abilities high protein pasta. And there's 4 servings in a box. So it's a box and a half to get 6 servings. So the reason I did this is because in my macros, this pot of Bolognese makes 6 servings for the macros you get. So I need 6 servings of pasta. So that's a box and a half of pasta. Cooked it up to the manufacturer's instructions, weighed it out, and evenly distributed it among these 6 containers right here. So here's what I'm gonna do next. You don't have to weigh this out, but I am counting calories. This needs to be, the Bolognese needs to be distributed evenly among these 6 containers. I've weighed the whole pot of Bolognese minus the weight of the pot, and that comes out to 2,152 grams for the actual Bolognese in the pot. So I'm going to split that 6 ways, which is about 358.667 grams, so about 358 grams of sauce needs to go on top of each one of these, and that will give me 6 equal servings. Now, if it's just you could just evenly distribute it without the scale, and at the end of the week you'll have eaten, 6 servings of it. Tim might grab some of these, so I want them to be correct because I won't be grabbing them all. So in the end, you know, it really needs to be right. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got my scale over here. I'm just going to take one of these, put it on the scale, and then zero the scale out. And then I'm going to take my ladle here and grab some sauce over here, and I'm just going to put in 358.6 grams of sauce. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to try and get as close as I can. Now there is a lot of sauce in this pot, so you do get a lot of sauce on this. So that one's done right there. And now I'll move on to the next one. And I'm just going to keep on filling them up until all of the sauce is distributed. All right, so you can see here, 6 beautiful plates of pasta. I don't have the exact macros in front of me. I will put them on the screen there so you can see them right here. But I know that each one of these is just under 400 calories. It's 390 something, and it's about 40 grams of protein per meal. So that's an amazing, you know, set of macros for a plate of pasta. So I'm just going to put the covers on all these, get them thrown in the fridge, and we'll go to the next thing. All right, so that takes care of my meals for me and basically Tim for the week. We might make some other stuff, but we're at least prepared. We also have to prepare meals for Lex because I'm going back to work, Tim's at work, Lex is home for another 2 weeks before he starts college. So I'm going to make a few things for him. One of the things, I've made this before, but one of the things he absolutely loves is mac and cheese. And I make a recipe where I make a mac and cheese powder. It's actually Chef Miyokos' recipe. It's called well-crafted mac and cheese. And I just make a powder and I put it in a jar. And when I want to make mac and cheese, I make the mac. And then I dump the little powdered cheese into the water, well, into the milk, and I mix it up, and it becomes a thick cheese sauce, and I dump the pasta in. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how I make the cheese powder, how I store it, how much of it to use when the time comes to use it, and I'll make 1 serving right here. Actually, I'll make probably 2 servings right here and jar those up so Lex has them. All right, let's get started with that. I'm going to need the food processor right here. And this recipe is on plantbaseddads.net, so go to there to www.plantbaseddads.net, and you can just look up mac and cheese, and this recipe will come up. Or you just look up all my recipes, and you'll see them all there. So I'm going to start out with 1 cup of cashew, right into the food processor. Next, I need 3/4 of a cup of nutritional yeast, so I've already measured that out. It's in this thing right here, so 3/4 of a cup of nooch. Then I need 1/4 of a cup of oat flour. I just put oats in the Vitamix and blended it all up, and now I'm just going to pop it in here. The last thing I need to do is buy 1 more type of flour. We have, I don't know, like 30 different flours. Then I need 1/4 cup of tapioca flour or tapioca starch. So this is just Bob's Red Mill tapioca flour. I'm going to grab my 1/4 of a cup right there, and I'll just pop in my 1/4 cup of tapioca flour. All right, next I'm popping in a tablespoon of organic sugar. Now it's time for our spices. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of paprika. Oh, that's a lot of paprika. There you go. And then 2 teaspoons of powdered mustard. This is actually a 3/4 teaspoon measure. So I'm going to put heaping teaspoons in. About 2 teaspoons of salt. Oh, at the very bottom of my salt here. That's 1. And we'll put 1 more teaspoon here. And that's 2. And then the last spice we have is onion powder. We're going to pop in 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Again, this is a 3/4 teaspoon measure, which I know is odd, but that's what we have. And I'm just going to overstuff it there. All right, so at this point, all we have to do with all this is to just kind of pulse it and mix it until it gets the grit, you know, the chunks from the cashews gone. So I want to make sure it's powdery. I'm going to pop this on here. First, I'll pulse it a few times. And now I'm just going to let it mix, a minute or 2. All right, let's give it a look-see here. I just want to make sure there's like no chunks in there. I want the cashews to be kind of all ground down. Now, the longer it blends, the more moist it gets, and you don't want it to be wet at all. It's got to be a dry powder, so you don't want to over blend it. All right, this looks good. Like, there's nothing here. as far as, I mean, there's chunks because it's stuck together, but there's no cashew chunks here. Like you can see, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. Let's get it out of here. All right, I'm just gonna get this into the jar. First, let me get my blade out of here. And let me see if I can get this out and into the jar. Oops. Trying to do it this way so you can see it in the camera. I don't want to waste any of it. That's looking pretty good right there. All right. So this is just mac and cheese powder. Like when you buy boxed mac and cheese, you got the powder packet. That's the powder packet right there, right? I just pop the lid on this, throw it in the pantry. Don't even have to refrigerate it. Throw it in the pantry, and it'll stay for, I've had it in there for like 2 months, and it's fine. I'm going to show you what to do with this and how to make a meal out of it real fast. All right, so here's what I do. For every, there's about 5 servings in here, right? So for every serving, you do 1 full cup of plant milk. I'm just using this cashew milk right here. So I'm gonna pop that in. I'm gonna make 1 serving right here. 1 full cup of plant milk. And then you do 1/3 cup of powder. I'm gonna turn on my cooktop here and get it cooking. And I wanna get this milk, actually that's not gonna be enough. I made 2 servings of pasta. I'm gonna do 2 of these. All right, so I'm gonna make 2 servings. So 2 cups of milk, so I'll use 2/3 of a cup of this. But for each serving, it's a cup of milk and 1/3 cup of powder. And I'm gonna heat the milk up to just, I don't want it to boil or anything, it's milk, but I want it to get warm enough so that when I throw in the cashew powder, it thickens pretty fast, all right? So that's what I'm doing here, I'm warming up this milk. All right, the milk is hot. So I'm gonna take my quarts, this is my 1/3 cup measure here, and I'm gonna drop in 1/3 for each serving. Remember, I'm making 2 servings now, so I'm gonna put in 2/3 cup for each serving. And then I'm gonna mix this up with my whisk, and I wanna get it really nicely combined. I don't want any lumps. So I'm just using my whisk, and I'm whisking this together. And just like when you're making cashew cheese sauce, you'll feel it like thicken up, and you'll know it's ready. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but let me get the spoon here. So I've just shut this off. It is nice and thick. You see that? Yeah, that's cheesy macaroni thick. Oh yeah, it's really good. All right. The next step is I've turned off the heat. And I'm just gonna dump in my pasta. I'm using red lentil pasta because that's what Lex likes. And I'm gonna mix my pasta in with all the sauce. I probably could have did less sauce. I probably could have did this whole thing on 1 serving, but he likes a lot of cheese sauce. All right, so I'm just mixing that all in there. Getting it all combined. Oh, look how good that's looking. I mean, that looks amazing. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way right here, and I'm gonna show you kind of what I do with this. I mean, it's really simple. I'm just taking 2 bowls, and I'm gonna split this evenly into both bowls. Now, I'm not measuring anything because it's Lex, and he doesn't have a problem with weight, so he don't care. So, but I'm just gonna, well, I'll just move this right over here. And I do want to get every bit of sauce out of here because that's the love right there. So let me pop that in there. And we'll just pop some of that in here. We'll pop the rest of it right in here. There we go. And then the last thing I'm going to do, again, because it's Lex, it's not me, we're using this this Life Parmesan cheese. It's plant-based Parmesan. He likes that, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of this right on top. All right. And this is a absolutely delicious, like, restaurant-style mac and cheese. Like, you can't go wrong. All right, I'm going to put the covers on these. We'll get these in the fridge. These are here if he wants them. I've actually got enough cheese sauce now to make some of this during the week for dinner if he wants it. I'm just going to throw this in the cabinet. So 1 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of cheese. Mix it all up till it's hot and bubbly and thick. Throw the pasta in. Cooked pasta, obviously. I don't know if I said that, but I did cook the pasta to the manufacturer's instructions. Don't throw dry pasta in there. and mix it together, and it's ready to go. All right, let me get these in the fridge. Biscuits are ready. All right. Why am I making biscuits? Because they're for the last thing I'm going to food prep today. And again, not for me, for Lex. So Lex likes these Annie's organic flaky biscuits. I, of course, tore the label off because I had to peel them, but it's right here. I would eat these if it wasn't for the 170 calories just for the biscuit alone. So I'm going to make him a breakfast sandwich. He loves these. It's just like the old McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, except everything's vegan. So I'm just going to take one of these rolls here and the biscuits we've cooked to manufacturer's instructions. And I'm just going to cut it in half. All right. And then I've got a bunch of these egg patties. I took just egg, you know, the liquid just egg, and cooked it to the manufacturer's instructions. I just threw it in a skillet and let it cook on both sides. And I've made 8 patties. You get 8 biscuits in the container, so I'm going to make 8 of these, right? And I'm just going to take one of these egg things and stick it right on top of here. I'm trying to center it the best I can. They're not perfect, right? And then I've got these Morningstar Farms breakfast sausage biscuits. They're all plant-based, so they're not meat sausage. They're plant-based sausage. And I'm just going to, they're little round discs. I'm just going to throw one on the top there. And then I've got this Chow cheese. It's just a plant-based Chow brand cheese slices. I'm going to throw that right on top here. And I'm just going to put the cover back on. And now Lex has a beautiful little breakfast sandwich. I would eat these if I could make my own biscuits. And if I can look into doing that, maybe I will. Because overall, without the 170 calories from the biscuit, the macros aren't that bad. There's plenty of protein and all that. But the biscuits just kill it for me. So I'm not able to eat it. So I just take them and I'm going to cut the next ones and I'll just show you. I just kind of wrap them all up and that's it. So I'm going to make 8 of these all together. I'm just going to keep grabbing my little sausage patties here. And I think I'll just cut them all open so I can do them all at once. All right, these biscuits are really nice and flaky. All right, so I'm just going to go by and do the egg on each one of these here. And I did make 8 of the egg mixtures. You can buy the just egg already like cooked and folded for sandwiches like this. I didn't even know that, but I did not do that. I just had it liquid style and just kind of, you know, egged it myself. All right, there we go there. And we've got one last one right here. And I'll take all of my little sausage patties there. All right, and then I've got a slice of cheese for each one of these. You could probably start with the cheese if you want. I just throw it on top because when I microwave it, I'll heat them up for 30 seconds in the microwave for Lex. It just kind of, you know, melts it down on top of everything. And then I'm just putting the covers back on. And there we go. Let's get this guy to stay right here. They smell really good. These biscuits are absolutely delicious. Sometimes I just make 2 or 3 sandwiches and then Lex will eat the rest of the biscuits because he likes the biscuits too. And there you go. You could melt these in the microwave for 30 seconds. That'll melt the cheese. I'm not doing that now because we're not eating them now. So I'm just going to wrap these up in plastic wrap. I hate using plastic wrap, but I mean, I've literally used every container I have today, so I just don't have anything else left. Wrap it up. And I'll throw it in the fridge, and it's all ready for me. So that is everything for today. You saw me make plenty of meals for myself, so I have food all week. I've got some stuff for Lex, just like teenager stuff, right? Just an example of what we do. You know, not everything is for all of us, but, you know, Lex has a different diet than we do. He's not worried about his weight. He's a swimmer. So, all right, that's our video for today. Hit that like button, show us some love. You know that I hate these videos because now I have to edit this, and this is 2 days worth of clips I have to edit. I just hate them, but I know these are the things people ask me for the most. What are you guys meal prepping? What are you making on the weekends? So I make them because I know you like them. So, and if you like them, then I like them, but I don't really like them. Click on the subscribe button, hit that bell. You'll get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday. And leave a comment below. Are you meal prepping? Do you do these little breakfast sandwiches? What are you making? Let me know. I would love to see that. Maybe I'll do the same thing. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.